So there's this podcast on First Angel Media, right? And it has two co-stars. First, there's him, Justin. Well, that's one version of him. It's more like that. But, I mean, they're both great versions, right? And then there's her. That's Jana, but she normally has way more clothes on. It's more like her. And they get together to do this Darkside podcast, which keeps them both sane because talking to other people about the things that make their music kind of keeps, their lives together and helps her not be like, I don't know, a menace, and kind of helps him to not jump off a cliff. So,
did you guys get all that? Did you get to see all that?
I was not expecting that.
Dude.
Beautiful start. That
was amazing.
It is. So thank you, everyone. That was something that I did over the summer while Justin and I were talking about bringing us back. Hi, welcome to the Darkside Podcast, and that is my humor. So I have with me my co-host Justin.
Gang.
He's finally back from petting bears.
Loved it. I loved every minute.
I got JT here, who is getting his first dose of us.
Yeah. Also, real quick, what the hell is with the petting bears?
Okay. So I ended up having to work last weekend, and we had that episode planned for what, like a month and a half? We had it planned for quite a bit, and I ended up having to work because, unbeknownst to me, there was a certain obligation that I was tied down to, and I was not aware of it until 2 days beforehand. So I just told John to just tell everybody I went to the jungle to pet bears or something.
Yeah, we decided that we were going to have fun with it, and Zach is from As I Speak.
Yeah,
Zach is one of our good friends.
Hell yeah!
And so Justin was actually like pretty broken up that he didn't get to be on there. But see, I'm happy about this because we have decided that if we're going to do a broadcast, we're going to have fun with it. All right. Mm-hmm. And so I get to play and have fun and be my goofy self. So without further ado, I need to introduce JT to Justin and Justin to JT. All right. And I have a game show thing here.
Oh boy.
God.
We're going to do it game show style. All right. Because I know something about the two of you that you two don't seem to know about each other. You two have worked together on a project. You can remember us now.
Now I remember.
You two have worked together on a project already. A friend of yours asked you to basically cut him down. And from what I understand, you did so semi-quote, very convincingly and very quickly. Was your line in this project invincibility codes, abusement park? Is it in tongues or fucking seethe?
Fucking seethe.
Fucking seethe. That bastard. That rat fucking bastard. He thinks he can bring the whole fucking world together with just saying fucking seethe.
I know, right?
He's right.
He did.
Shout out to him.
Look at that.
How dare he? How dare he? The audacity of some people. You know what I mean?
Also, real quick, shout out to him. He just dropped Grayscale Recollections, that brand new fucking EP. Dude is the hardest working son of a gun I've ever seen in the music scene online.
Yeah, he's constantly dropping. And that's not too long after. I mean, he's had Is it 6 or 8 releases this year so far?
Dude has like 6 to 8 releases like every week.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I can't keep up. I'm like, dude, like I can't follow all of this. It's been like a year. Like I just can't. Like
seethingly.
Yes.
Yes. Don't fuck with my head.
It's his hashtag. So Bill and I were actually just talking about him on Bill's anniversary podcast, not even a week ago, because Bill and I are old enough. I'm 47, people. So if this doesn't make sense to you, just look it up. You're just too young. There was a 7 points from Kevin Bacon game that Hollywood used to play. And Kevin Bacon had been in like so many shows and movies and everything else that everyone in Hollywood, in one way or another, beat Kevin Bacon within 7 people.
Oh.
And so Bill is one of those people. Sometimes I'm one of those people, and Patrick is one of those people. And that's what we were saying. Is like, look at you. You're in Virginia, sir.
Yeah. Patrick, man, like I don't want to, inflate him too much because the dude is blowing up, rightfully so. But I still gotta knock him down a few pegs every now and then, just. But
as a good friend does.
Yes, I owe him so much of the Six Scars career. For the first couple releases that I put out after my initial one, he was kind of like a tutor, and we weren't really friends at that point. We were just like acquaintances that would be like, "Oh, hey, I got this track," and then. It turned out he kind of helped me with some hooks and things and ideas. And then, then I got him on Better Off Dead. And it was like just, ever since then, we've been, glued together, it seems. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I noticed that because I did not expect Abusement Park and In Tongues, Six Scars, 2 latest releases, if I'm correct.
Yeah, well, In Tongues is the feature. But that's Steve's track, actually. He just lent me that entire first verse, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I'm blown away.
So that was actually something that me, not being a musician, I kind of wondered because Six Scars being your solo.
Mm-hmm.
And then Killbateoverdose, that is all one word. And check out the ticker at the bottom, people. It'll take you there. So that is a full band.
Yes.
That you are the lead singer for. And then you are in collaborations with all of these other people. Like, is this a different mindset in each of these 3 things? Is a collaboration anything like working with your band?
No. So the way I approach it, which it kind of probably honestly leads to my burnout so much of the time, is my Six Scars project. It has 2 individual sides, I would say. It has the very new metal hard rock side with, songs like Save Me and Drop Down and What You Become. And then the very shoegaze melodic where it's like, very heavy Crosses vibes, Bloody Valentine, you name it, Whir, Gleamer. And then with Killbate, like, I don't even know how to describe Killbate because every single track we release is basically a different genre. And I am obsessed with it. Like, I am all about learning as much as my vocals will let me and as much as my mind will let me. So I am intrigued with the process of like, oh, hey, this song sounds this way, right? But I kind of want to know what this one would sound like this way. And then this one, and then this one. And it's like no track kind of sounds the same. And I am all for that. Like, to me, that is, I basically have creative ADHD. But you know, like, and this isn't a knock on Corey Taylor or anything like that. But one thing I wanted to be very different from was what Stone Sour turned out to be, right? Like Stone Sour turned out to be Slipknot, and Slipknot turned out to be Stone Sour. I don't want anybody to ever be like, oh, hey, that song sounds like something he did in that band, and it sounds like a ripoff.
Like a ripoff of yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, is that weird? Like, is it weird that I think that way?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say you're. I mean, kind of. It's kind of weird. Like to say that you're a ripoff of yourself. Like, no, it's just what you. It's just what you do. So like the things that I particularly do, like I'm getting ready to at some point, Caleb. I'm sorry, I'm working on it. There's a track I'm going to be working on with Caleb and Silhouette
Strauss.
Yes.
Strauss.
What the hell? What is this?
Sir, may I say something?
Yeah.
That was me hand. I'm raising my hand. God damn you!
Fucking confusing me. Okay. I have a fucking 75-year-old brain here. Like, I can't go off track right now. But I mean, the things that I'm going to do in those tracks is just the shit that I do in Skies of Terra. It's going to be the same thing. So it's not necessarily a ripoff of yourself. Even like any other project that I do, I just do the shit that I do. And if anyone says it's a ripoff of myself, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's just what I do. And it should be the same thing for you. Like, I understand you kind of want to do different things, but not necessarily a ripoff of yourself.
Well,
like, you just know what you're doing. Why the hell were you censored for a hot second there, Jana? Like, your shit just, like, blurred for a hot second. I was like,
probably the fucking light.
No, like,
probably the light. Look.
Your whole screen just blurred. Like you, like it looked like you flashed the camera on like an episode of Mari, and it was just like nothing. Just
no, I appreciate that, Justin. A lot of times I'll end up being my worst critic, and it's like, you know, I always. Like for so long, not to like get too sentimental here, but it's like for so long I didn't have this ability to chase this dream. And it's like ever since I found it, I wanted each thing to be different than the last. And it can be, you know, you're right. It can be, you know, where it shouldn't be that way, I think. But to me, it's like I have to come up with something different each time. And if not, I'm like my brain is just going to the part of where it's just, well, we did this last time. What can we do different? Because if you can't push yourself, you're not like this isn't reality. I know, but it's just what my mind says. But it's like if you can't push yourself, you're not worthy of doing it. So that's what I have to compete with.
Yeah, well, it's like you're always competing with yourself, and it's completely understandable because it's always going to be a daunting task to go ahead and try to top what you did the last time. So I listened for some reason. I was into G-Eazy for a hot minute. And I listened to an interview that he did with somebody, and he said that his first release was the easiest thing that he's ever done. Like his first album drop, it was the easiest thing he's done. No pun intended. But he said like the second one, he had so much trouble with it because he had to top it. So he had to figure out what to do. Like the second release is always going to be the most difficult release. And that pretty much goes along with like doing collaborations and doing singles. Like you have to top the last thing that you did. So you always have to try to elevate yourself, which is completely understandable.
Well, so, all right. And sorry to anyone who saw all my craziness over here, but Bill is commenting on something about universal players. And then of course, you know, he hits me where it hurts. Her internet sucks.
Damn. He just called you out.
See, though, that's what a friend does. That's what a friend does.
I mean, you do have that, you know, West Virginian internet. Like,
Well,
You
whenever
got
I
that
like,
well water internet.
dude, I got well water.
See, there you go.
I live in the sticks. I live in a valley within a valley on 5 acres.
Oh
is
wow.
it? Does your internet depend on how fast the creek behind your house is flowing? So maybe it's
I
like
hope
stagnant.
not. I
Maybe
really
it's
hope
stagnant right now.
not. It's
so
been
who
pretty
knows?
dry recently, so like I'd be in trouble.
That could be the reason why. You never know.
That's what I call high quality H2O.
Oh my god, I love that movie. But,
Me too.
So on
but
the
one
on
of
the
the
I was gonna say on the subject of Billy Madison movies, what is the one Billy Madison movie that everyone can't stand?
oh,
John-
you mean Happy Gilmore or
What?
Adam Sandler?
Yeah, like Adam
for
Sandler
me it would
movies.
be Little Nicky.
What?
You don't like Little Nicky? That's fair. That's honestly fair.
Ooh,
He's right.
okay.
The school bus won't even come out here anymore.
You know, probably a lot of his later stuff, like I wasn't a huge fan of. Uncut Gems, I thought was really weird.
I couldn't get behind that one. I tried it, and I have a very short attention span. Like if something doesn't get me immediately, I'm shut off.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I hate with a passion Billy Madison.
I'm not a fan of it.
See, I knew I liked you. I knew I liked
See,
you.
really? Because it was the one I actually liked.
You liked Billy
was-
Madison?
I did.
Oh.
That is the golf one, right?
No,
No,
That's Happy
okay.
Gilmore.
That's Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
They're actually
Maybe
going to
I
come
did.
out. They're coming out with Happy Gilmore too.
I don't want them to.
I don't think I want that.
It's all going to be. They're going to have the original people in it too.
Except for
original-
Carl Weathers.
Look,
Okay.
man. All right, don't look. We too soon.
Yeah, you're right, man. That
Too
freaking
soon.
gator finally took him.
Here he goes. Too soon.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah, the one where he's like in school and he has to
No,
he has to
that's
act like
totally
a child.
fair.
Yeah, that's that.
I
shit
don't
was
think
so
he
funny.
had to. He just did the entire time. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of that movie, but I don't know.
Real quick.
People love it. People love that movie.
An underrated Adam Sandler, not necessarily an Adam Sandler movie, but what he was in, Airheads.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
I ain't farting on those drum.
Solid movie.
That
Super
entire
underrated
movie.
too.
Yeah.
Super underrated.
Yeah. Brendan
I like-
Fraser and Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah, and the
Okay.
cameos that they had in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now I have to ask. You know, this is the M&Ms. If you had one shot to take over a radio station, would you?
Oh yeah,
Fuck yeah.
100%. 100%.
I
would go-
think in weird
I-
ways, man.
I would go after 105.9 The X immediately. They would be enemy number one. Like they're on the list. You know what I mean? Like you guys play 21 Pilots like way too often.
I would just go after every radio station that I could. That's like, and now extreme metal coming up next. Imagine Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
my
what the
God.
X does. That's what the X
Wait.
does.
Okay. Now I have to touch
The
on
X.
this.
New X music. Savage Garden. It's the same thing all the time.
Every time I close my eyes. Okay, listen. I do you know how long I sat there with that song when that first came out? Learning how to sing that song right
Oh, what,
along
you're-
with him.
Truly, madly, deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that song's a banger, though.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a banger.
Yeah.
I only brought up Savage Garden.
guys.
What?
Bill has a radio station you can take over.
Oh, hey. There we go.
Bill,
Do you want this to never
you
see
may
the
have
light of
to-
day again?
you may have to talk with these guys and see about, taking over one day.
I would love that.
It's I would be the most ignorant dude on there. I'd be like, all right, We're not playing 21 Pilots. We're playing Body Snatcher. That's coming up next. Like, get your radios ready. Oh, I'd ruin it.
You're a lot nicer than me. I would just put Hulk Hogan's Real American on there for 24 hours.
Why?
Why not? Either that or the American Males theme. If you've never heard that, just go look that
Oh,
up.
no, not that theme. Oh,
Rocky might
God,
never
no.
talk to us again if we play that much metal. That's okay, Bill, because you and I keep taking Seeth over to the UK. And you know what? I truly have decided that is just... Why does it not tell me what Facebook
American males.
what Facebook user it is? Does anybody else see what Facebook user it is?
No,
Hi.
just this Facebook user.
Hi.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
says
know who
Facebook
Yo
user.
is. But I see Bill and I keep taking Seeth over to a UK radio station.
Hell yeah.
And the stuff that they play over there is a lot softer. Oh, it's Will from Liars Podcast. I will. There we go.
Will?
Had me nervous. I was getting ready to go over to First Angel meeting and be like, who the hell is this?
Somebody
Show
else,
yourself. It's someone who works for 105.9. He's like, don't do that, please.
No. We'll all lose our jobs.
We don't like Hulk Hogan that much.
But I
the
have
American
decided
males.
though. I have decided though that like I'm going to be able to, you know. Yeah, you are anonymous, dude. You really are. So I hope that like if somebody else chimes in, it's going to say like Facebook user too.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But
Yeah.
to finish the thought though, we take Seeth over to the UK enough that like, you know, he'll be able to chime in one day. They'll be like, that's the worst metal vocalist I've ever heard. And he'll be able to pull the, you know, but you have heard of me.
But you have heard of me. Yeah.
You're the worst pirate, but you have heard of me.
Hey, man, there's been worse things that have been said. I remember, let's dial back a little bit and go on to a certain subject matter. So
Uh-oh.
we all have like, okay, so as a musician yourself, you try to do self-promotion, right? So you try to go to certain avenues, certain YouTube channels, reactors, and stuff like that to try to get your name out there and get a few more listeners, right? So this is another Seeth story. And I don't hold anything against him for this shit. I really don't, because he didn't even know. So he recommended us. He recommended us to a YouTube channel whenever we first dropped Worlds Collide, The Party Is Over. So he said, there is Beheading the Traitor. And we're like, all right, cool. So hit whoever runs the channel up. And they said, yeah, it's like $50 to be featured on our channel. No problem. Drop the $50. We got torn the fuck apart.
Oh,
So
fuck.
much. We got called trailer core.
Damn, dude.
Trailer core. I was like, we don't live in trailers, dog. Like, what are you talking about? They completely ripped us apart because we didn't know that it was like a straight up deathcore beat down channel. We were metalcore and post hardcore. So it was pretty much comparing like, I don't know, like Oceano, and then we have like us, Ed Sheeran, fucking go onto that channel. You know what I mean? So it just didn't make sense. But yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here, honey. That's for you. So you're the hardcore version of Nickelback?
I'll take it because you know what? Nickelback has like a Netflix special and we don't. So
I don't know why they get all the hate.
Okay, look, the first two albums, I will always say, really good. Like, Silver Side Up, I think is what it was, and The Curb and those 3 albums, dude, those are actually some pretty solid hard rock albums.
There's some songs from Nickelback that I don't hate, but I could not care less for the song Rockstar.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that song.
Yeah.
And
Burn
yet
It to the
that's the
Ground,
one
I
that
think.
that's the one that got played so much, got burned into our brains.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
and How You Remind Me.
This is how you remind me. Banger. Yeah. It's a banger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Weren't
Nickelback
they also the one? Okay, hey, Nickelback. Yep. See, this as well. Hey, Nickelback is legit good. Not everything, but I can say they rip and know how to get success, and they do.
Also,
you can hate on Nickelback all you want, people, but they will be laughing their way to the bank.
There's one band that I've been trying to back for like ever, and I even got ripped. No, it was Creed.
Hey, I love me some Creed, dude. What are you gonna say?
I got ripped apart so much for listening to My Sacrifice in like 2001, whenever that shit came out on Weathered.
Mm-hmm.
I had that album playing in my little portable CD player. I got ripped apart for it from like whatever friends that I had back in those days.
Justin,
constantly. What?
Are you the one that sent me the invite to
What
the
invite?
new Creed Nation group?
I don't think so.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
They were welcoming their god Creed back.
Maybe it was me. I don't know. I have no idea.
Dude, I looked at that and I'm like,
did you see the Super Bowl special that Creed did for the commercial?
No.
Oh my God. Dude, you have not lived until you see Patrick Stewart in the midst of With Arms Wide Open.
No, yes. With Arnold?
Yes. While throwing Arnold at a wall.
Oh, I'll have to look that up on YouTube whenever we're done with this. I'm definitely going to find that.
Stewart throwing Arnold.
It's so good. It's just so good.
So this is funny. So I went to a wedding. I went to my buddy's wedding. I was a groomsman, and I'm not going to drop any names out of respect for the people involved. But I was paired up with some.
Names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah, names have been changed to protect the innocent. And like the person I was paired up with, very sweet person. But we had to think of like a grand entrance for ourselves to come out during the reception. So I was like, dog, this would be so funny. I was like, I sent her the YouTube video from their Super Bowl halftime performance
for the Cowboys.
For doing Higher. So I was like, this girl's like 105 pounds or something. I could lift her up. She can have like a veil and just breeze her along like the whole reception room, right? By playing Higher in the background. She said, I don't like Creed. And I was like, oh my God, you're killing me.
That's a red flag.
Couldn't do anything about it, man. I was at the helms of her, so
damn.
I know. Disrespect.
You can't get married to the Kerner Turk Maher. I don't know what you can do.
Well, let's go back to the actual subject that
I was going to say, like,
yeah, let's reel it back.
Speaking of red flags, do you have any red flags whenever you're working with somebody in one of these nice little collaborations?
Okay, so I am not gonna say who, but there is a independent band, which Jana, I know I've not known you guys nearly as long, but when I first started using Facebook about 3 or 4 years ago for the Six Scars moniker, there was like a pretty steady independent community, and we all kind of supported each other, right? Well, ended up I did an entire album with a group, and they took all my vocals out after saying that they would use them and use them in their actual songs, even though I wrote the lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
they
out
had
of
someone else sing?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like out of respect, like I like look, I mean, it would be easy to throw shade, and I'm not like look, I'm a firm believer of you get what's gonna come to you, and if not, then somebody will give it to you. So it's just that was a hell of an introduction for collaborations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was when I was first starting out, and I was I don't want to say like unjaded, but it's like, I had this innocent mindset where I was like, oh, we're helping each other, like let's do this. And I put like 3.5 days into working on like 2 songs for recording, and I wrote like 8 of these songs.
And they just
And
like
then
stole your crap.
yeah, they're like, oh, this is great, like we're gonna have it out in like the next
Oh.
4 or 5 months. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait. And then it dropped. Nothing.
That's cold.
Yeah,
Wow.
they took, because it was, look, all I'll say is it was a rock/metal band that turned into a rap group, and they took all the lyrics that I wrote and turned it into a like rap.
Wow. I'm sorry, but like
Yeah,
I've and I'm going to no, Bill, it's not showing it. Or so we have 2 Facebook users. Now this one I know is Will from Liars
Definitely.
Pacifist, because he made us jump the shark, and he is right, but it was fun. Therefore,
he always does.
worth it. And Bill is trying to figure out if, how we can, because like I said before, we are trying to figure out this whole new
because this is a new format.
It is for us. Oh, Bill said, okay, see, I've got Facebook user. I said it was Bill. It was Will. I guess this is Will saying nope. And then this is Bill saying nope. I typed that. So that wasn't very helpful.
All it says is Facebook user, so it looks like
so like we got to
multiple
figure that
personalities.
out. It works better. I even in my hiatus, I make certain that certain stations are taken care of. Definitely build the scene. I actually met Bill whenever I first started First Angel Media, and he's been there for me ever since. He's amazing. And so he was like, I could use OBS, whatever OBS is, if we switch over here. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm trying to learn how to.
OBS is good. It's just really laggy sometimes.
Is that something you use on Beyond the Breakdown?
I don't use it on Beyond the Breakdown, but I'm also part of a reaction channel that my buddy does on YouTube. And he uses OBS. He's been doing it for over 10.5 years.
Okay.
But like, if you don't have a high internet and a high refresh rate on your camera, like it will look laggy as crap sometimes.
So like not run by the, creek or
right, the well water internet.
And my water
Okay.
internet. It's not being okay. All right.
So maybe you pumped enough water. I don't know, like pumped enough water in your generator.
I don't think I did.
But if it's okay, I will. Is it okay to circle back around to that question you asked me? I feel like I didn't finish it completely.
Circle to whatever you want. We are both ADHD brains.
Same.
So like we're gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, like I was just like, what question was that?
Yeah. My brain goes like 1,000 different ways when I'm answering something. And then
that's
it's
okay,
like,
because I plan on the 3 of us talking quite a bit.
Hell yeah.
Because those of you who are not aware, like I jump on JT's podcast and just
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Talk and I'm an opinionated woman, and I am okay with that. Just got to deal with that if you know me.
Hell yeah. But no, to kind of sum up that question, just so because I know I do want to talk to you guys more about everything. When it comes to collaborations now, as far as red flags, I like to look at how reputable that person is. Like if they've done collaborations in the past, how have the other artists, worked with them? How has it been with them? Like I might show my hand here, but I'll do some research. Like I'll reach out to these bands, and I'm like, if I know I can talk to them, I'm like, hey, what do you guys think of this over here? Like, was it a good experience? Was it, because like at the end of the day, I'm all about making music, but I also don't want my shit to sound like absolute ass if I put my heart into it, and because somebody doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can completely understand that. And what would be the difference between, say, a collaboration and working with Killbateoverdose? What's the difference there?
So for me, the collaboration, like when all of this started with Six Scars, it was just me. I don't make any of the music on that. I purchase instrumentals, and then usually I was mixing and producing quite a few of like the shoegazy tracks. Our boy Steve is mixing a bunch of my stuff over the last little while. But as far as collaboration goes, I feel like being on Steve's Cypher of the Morning Star is a very good example. There was like 10 artists on that for that huge collab.
Oh, so you two did collaborate on that too.
Yeah.
Justin,
yeah, that's right.
Sky Satara.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, dude, you fucking destroyed your verse, man.
Dude, we kind of we were ignorant. We were ignorant for that reason.
We all went hard on that one though, dude. I remember sitting there making that, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to send this to him. And he was like, can you do that but with like a different inflection? I was like, oh yeah, shit, sure, here you go. But no, with Killbate, so oddly enough, they happened upon me in a way that I was not expecting. The guitarist Jacob, we actually met each other a few years ago, and we ended up going to JT wanted to work with me, but he demanded I ship liquid death water and feet pics, which was an odd request.
Seeing as that only says Facebook user, this is actually getting kind of interesting.
So I think like people have to like put their name afterwards.
So I look, no kink shame. I hate feet. So whoever the hell you are,
look how much you two have in common.
Dude, I hate feet.
Send the liquid death, and I give you the screamy boy voice. No feet pics.
Yeah, hate feet.
See how much? Come on, you know who it wasn't. I know it wasn't you, Bill. It's me, JT Will.
Of course it was. No, as far as, getting a part of KBO, like I auditioned for him and I knew the guitarist, and he was like, dude, I've been listening to some of your Six Scar stuff. We'd be interested in having you audition. And not to take it down to like a too low of a level, but it was a very bleak time in my life. And I was like, well, fuck it. Like, if nothing else works out, I'll just try this and see what ends up happening. They ended up loving my audition. I auditioned for 2.5 hours off the top of my head, every song that they could play on the damn computer. Yeah. Like, and at the time I wasn't comfortable because I'd never auditioned for any bands before. And I mean, you talk about nervous. And our bassist, he was like, or our second guitarist, he was like, do you know any Amon and Marf? And I was like, well, I mean, I can do some. He was like, well, they're my favorite fucking band, so here you go. I'm like, oh, fuck me, dude. But the big difference for me between the collaboration and Killbate, I actually got voted in as a member of Killbateoverdose, and I'll never forget that night. It was one of the most special nights of my life, to be honest with you. And to me, there's that distinct line between collaborating and just genuinely being a team that creates, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the team part is very difficult. Everybody that I know of that has been in a band, and trying to get 4 or 5 people to actually agree on anything
So
is
Yeah,
hell.
it's damn near pulling teeth.
makes me fucking sick thinking about it.
Thankfully,
See, this is why I stick my own stuff on photography and such.
well, thankfully, as far as KBO goes, you know, knock on wood, we've never had any issues like that. We've always been really like, you know, hey, we didn't really care for this vocal line. Do you mind trying something here? Or, hey, this guitar doesn't really work here. Can we try something else? And we've always been open because we're like, we want to make this the best product, but also we want to have fun. You know, it's become this band of brothers. And I mean, I could sit here and talk all night about them if I'm not careful.
I noticed that you absolutely love them, and you guys just recently did, was it your first live show? Am I correct about this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did that all go?
The live show. Okay. So remember when I told you that, like, I had no idea that I'd ever be living out this dream? That was my first ever live show.
Like your first ever
My first
time
ever
live
on
a stage.
Well, my first ever live full set. I've done, okay, so I got to do my own summer with Carbon Stone a couple years ago, and I got to go up. My first time on stage was actually at the Baltimore soundstage.
But this is like your first time being on stage with your own
project, dude.
Your own material.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, the nerve-wracking time that shit is, which is, oh God.
Oh man, it was a trip. Like, I mean, you're down there, I think, drinking an Angry Orchard. I'd normally have a beer or something, but I was like, I don't want to fuck any of this up. I want my voice to stay hydrated. Like, da 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 da. I'm like, you know, I'm taking care of my voice the couple days beforehand and everything. And it was a fucked up time, but an amazing time. Like, the sound guy for the first of the show, like, we were the openers. Of course, you know, hey, we were the new kids on the block, right? We're gonna get that treatment. He neutered our guitars so freaking much. Like, I had to bend down to hear out of the amp. And I was like, holy shit, I don't know how my vocals are sounding at all. And it wasn't halfway. We did 6 songs. And it wasn't until halfway through the set I could hear my voice. And I was like, this is... But we got a decent reaction. And, you know, people were coming up after the show, like, asking about us and everything, saying, hey, like, you did a great job. And, I mean, we were blown away at the reception that we got. It wasn't, I would say, maybe 30, 40, maybe 50 people tops. But, dude, 50 people there for your first show, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. And that was something even that you mentioned on, you know, Beyond the Breakdown, the last show that I saw, which is, you know, you and Will, who was listening into the audience. We're talking about, you know, it may not seem like a lot, but social media kind of has you tricked. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not about 1,000 people. Imagine 25 people in a room staring at you. Like, it's a lot all of a sudden. Yeah. And to be quite honest, I have been to shows where 50 people was the entire audience for everybody there, and that included the people at the bands, like in the bands, you know? So, I mean, really, and those were some kick-ass shows, to be quite honest with you. So, really, like, to have 50 there for your first show and to have people coming up and congratulating you, telling you how good you're doing, like, that's like an ego boost. That's like being on an emotional high probably afterwards.
It really was. Like, I'm trying not to, you know, like, inflate my ego too much over here, but I actually have Sean Locke. He's the vocalist of formerly Neverfall. They are now going by Razorgrave. He was one of the bands that night, and he came up to me and he was like, dude, you did a great job. I was like, oh, dude, thank you. Like, I'm over here pouring sweat because, like, I go hard at shows, dude. Like, I'm headbanging. But here's the thing. We had 2 feet of stage that I could move.
Holy
Try
crap.
headbanging on like 2 feet of stage without losing your balance.
Oh God, yeah.
But
The feeling of all that stuff is just incredibly validating. It
yeah,
makes like all the work that you put into it, even though it was only for 50 fucking people. It's like,
Right.
I'm okay with that.
that dude,
Yeah.
that was the best feeling. Like I told my girl a little bit afterwards. I was like, the only thing I can equate that to would be like sex. Like it's just that. Like I don't even mean like in the sense of like, you know, that obviously like the orgasmic feel, but like the intensity, the energy that you feel from it, and that emotion that it evokes in you. You know, when you're up there and you're seeing people kind of nod along with you, maybe not full on because they don't know you, but they're grooving to it. Dude, I know you can attest to it, Justin. There's nothing better than looking out and seeing somebody just kind of nodding their head, even if they don't know you.
The best feeling at one point that I've probably had during a show was whenever my people, Skies of Terror, we went ahead and we played at Casey's, and this was probably 2022, 2021, I think. There was actually one guy, like we played with Ire and Trainwreck, I believe, and the bassist from Ire, he was actually in the back, and I seen him mouthing the words of our songs, and I was like, we're close, we're right fucking there. You know what I mean? If we had like the right pieces, i.e., like the drummer and the bassist, I guarantee the room would have been moving in a completely different manner. But even just that by itself, I'm like, we're onto something.
Yeah,
we're onto something.
It's such a cool feeling too, man. It really is. Just looking out there and being like, damn, we did this. Because I remember looking back at the band during one of the songs, and I looked at my guitarist. I was like, this is so fucking incredible, dude. Like, I never thought I'd ever get this chance. And I mean, look, we're all dealt our different hands in life, right? You know, I was told from a young age that, you know, I wouldn't do much. So to be able to do that, I was blown away. And I am not afraid to say that toward the end, I actually shed a tear in the last song.
Oh.
I was just like, this is amazing. You know, like a band of brothers. And we had to carry on without the original drummer. He had to step aside due to family issues, not diminishing anything that he did for the band. We got an amazing fill-in drummer with Evan. He's the one that, if you look at the KBO pictures, he was the one for the show. We're training up a new one with Justin Price. Dude's a beast. Like, I've never seen anybody improve on an instrument as much as he does. So much devotion. And we honestly can't wait to get back out there and do shows. Like, we are itching. We're wanting to tour at least through North Carolina and like Atlanta and Virginia and Tennessee, you know, like. And here's the cool thing about me having the podcast. I now have connections in all of these damn places.
That's the way to do it right there. That's the way to do it.
Get as many connections as you possibly can.
Yeah. I apologize for rambling. I told you.
No,
it's not good. A ramble. Between the two of you, though, I came up with another question because
oh God.
I know. Oh, I know. Terrible thing. I've been to Justin's shows, and I actually watched a disaster of a show turn into probably one of the most amazing moments.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
They had so many things go wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, they decided to put away all of the electric everything. Sit down with a guitar and do an a cappella version.
Acoustic.
One of them. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Acoustic version.
He's like,
their song.
Showing Jana.
Can't listen, we all know I live in the middle of nowhere. All right? Us West Virginians, we don't get the brainy stuff.
acapella,
Internet
acoustic,
Explorer.
it's the same thing, you know.
There was no other stuff happening but their voices and a guitar. Whatever that is, we're there. But I'm just wondering, JT, I know that you said Killbateoverdose, that was your first performance live with them.
Mhm.
But have you ever had like a moment like that on your podcast or on, I mean, you do a lot of things. So
Yeah.
you do a lot of things, sir. Like I was seriously sitting here. I have it in the description on one of these things. Like how in the world do you wear this many hats and still keep your mind together? But did you ever have a moment that you were like, this is just gonna, oh look, it's the greatest thing ever?
So, all right. Years ago in a bar in my hometown, well, one of my hometowns, I call it, but Bristol, Tennessee, there's a pub called O'Mannon's, and I used to play open mic there. I'm not much for it now, but I used to play a little bit of rhythm guitar, and I used to play down there. And I used to have a song. It was one of the very first songs I ever got published and copyrighted by ASCAP. It's called Home
Nice.
Again. And I played that song there probably about 30 times. And I remember looking out at a sea of like 15 drunk people, and they were singing my song back to me.
No way.
Ooh.
And when they got to the chorus, I just looked and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is this reality? Like, I wish you could see it. I'm getting goosebumps right now. And it's like, it was such a surreal feeling to just look out there and be like, these people actually care enough that they're singing it back to me while I'm just sitting up there. And I was like, I'm still waiting for another moment quite like that. Now, as far as music goes, as far as the podcast, man. So obviously, I've touched on Carbon Stone. I have been a fan and devoted follower of Carbon Stone since 2005. I found them back in MySpace, right? Fast forward almost 20 years, and I'm doing a Deftones cover with them live. And
Wow.
that was the other time, I will say, that I nearly fainted on stage in Baltimore because I was like, it gave me goosebumps and I had no idea what the hell I was doing with my life. Like, what is it? And then getting the chance to have Corey from Carbon Stone on the podcast and get to hear his take about what he thought about me doing it, and not like an ego boost, but I was curious. I was like, so did I fuck up? Like,
You always need to ask those questions to be like, I need some sort of validation, or like, I need like checked or validation. Like, which one am I going to get? Because I need either one.
And let's be honest here. And this will be something that we'll probably bring up because, like, anyone who hasn't been following, I want to bring JT, Will from Liars Pacifist, Justin, and Zach from As I Speak about like a lot of the other stuff that goes into what we all do.
yeah.
But like, who cares if it was for your ego to get stroked? Everybody has an ego. Everyone owns one. Everyone has. And dude, sometimes our egos need validated.
100%.
I am a strong, independent woman. Tell me I'm pretty.
I mean, no, you're not wrong, and I accredit Corey so much for helping me revitalize my love for music, because before I got on that cover, I had released some with Six Scars, and then there was just no traction. And I mean, look, it's not easy to make instrumentals by any means, and I understand that, but it also sucks when you sink hundreds of dollars into instrumentals to get mixed and mastered and things that you don't own, and then just look, it may sound egotistical here, but it's like when you're not making anything back off of it, it's rough. Mm-hmm. It feels like a point of diminishing returns, right? Like you're just like, fuck, what am I doing? Like maybe I was wrong. Like, and he was like, no, dude, like step away for now. Do not step away forever. Come back when you want to. It's always going to be there. You don't have to be anything that you're thinking you have to be. Be what you want to be. And to this day, like, I accredit him so much. And then being able to get him on the podcast and give him his flowers too. Like, I make a point of it. Anybody who has helped me in my journey, if you get on the podcast, be ready. Like, be ready, because I am going to bring you every freaking bouquet of flowers that I can, because that's just how I am. Like, but getting the chance to have him on there and really tell him what that meant to me. And then his wife came on the following week, and she was the reason I got up on the stage at Baltimore, because I almost chickened out. And she was like, "You're getting up there and doing it. You're getting up there." And it was just those were two goosebump times, really, when I was like, "What the hell is life?" You know? And that was episode 10 and 11 of the podcast, and then tomorrow I'm doing episode 30. And it's like, what is like this little thing that I started, and it's like this has grown into like a machine.
That's wonderful. That really is wonderful. And to have somebody that you truly look up to, believe in, and have them on the show is incredible. Now I am going to pause you guys for a moment, because this came through. Ask about pizza. Now hold on. Bill, I know that is you.
I know it's Bill.
But I'm not going to ask him about pizza, because now you need to interview JT on Build the Scene and ask him yourself about the pizza in Virginia. So, check in, mate.
Oh.
See?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. See? Bill has several podcasts and things that he does. The man is one other comment. I'm losing it because for some reason every 10 seconds I get a comment that says I am a regular viewer of the show.
Oh.
So somebody really liked us. So the bot can talk.
What's up, bot?
Bot, talk to us. We're here. But further up, Bill mentioned that he's normally too busy clicking the shutter to nod. He's a photographer as well, and that is actually something that for me, you were talking about the show and that there were only 50 people, but the back and forth, you felt really good about it. The other show, the drunk people, but they were singing back to you, and you said that you don't know that you'll ever find, like, you're still waiting on something to top that. And those are the reasons why people love to go to live shows. It's not just about listening to the music. It's the back and forth feedback between the person on stage, and the person in the audience. And there is just this emotional, constantly crushing wave going through it. One of my favorite things truly is seeing people like, I'm talking to you two, right? You're a JT and Justin. I know that I have seen this from Justin. I've seen this from Patrick whenever he heads on stage. I am certain, JT, that I would see it from you. Where the person that I'm talking to as another human being hits that stage, gets into their music, and you are no longer the person. You are something slightly separate and apart from JT and Justin are. You have become another instrument.
Yeah.
And like additional transformer.
We just don't have a lawn chair.
We don't have a lawn chair.
Oh.
It's a very... I had to say it.
No, and nobody to find out, right?
That's why I was like,
it's such a weird thing, and I think we've said this before on this podcast. to where it's almost like as soon as you go onto that stage, and it doesn't matter what kind of a stage it is, how big the stage is, it doesn't matter if you're performing on an actual stage itself with an elevated platform, or if you're performing on the floor, or you're performing on a bed of pallets. As soon as you hear like the first riff, it's like, this person here that you see on this screen doesn't exist. It's somebody else. And there's like a certain emotion that's evoked whenever you hear the music that you're helping create, you're being a part of. There has been quite a few times where, I'm going to go into the live show aspect, to where it's like, we played in front of fucking nobody. There was one show in particular where there was two bands that were touring. It was The Danger of Falling and Castle No Kings. Castle No Kings unfortunately disbanded not long after we did that show, but we performed at the Mr. Roboto project. I forget where exactly it's at in Pittsburgh, but we show up at the venue and we load in and waiting for people to come through the door, and not a soul comes through that door. Not one person outside of the groups that were there with the bands showed up. So I think one person may have paid, and I think it was John, like our buddy John. I think he's the only one that threw in like $10. But the thing is that was probably one of the more fun and intimate shows that we've had, at least of Skies of Terra, because at one point I actually gathered everybody that was in the room around in a circle, and we all just like, it was like a big group hug type of thing. And as soon as like the music broke, we just fucking started headbanging and doing our thing. It's like, and once you're doing all that shit, once you're on that stage doing your thing, nothing outside of the walls matter. And it's pretty fucking crazy once you think about it.
Yeah.
The transformation. And that's one thing that I think really interesting about what you were saying, JT, about your music with Killbateoverdose is, if not a single track sounds the same, then you are in like a constant emotional ping pong on stage. Like, that's what I'm picturing. Like for myself, it would be like, I mean,
yeah. So is it okay to step the podcast down to a little bit of an emotional level for just a few moments?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and you will actually be the first to know this. So we just released Carpet Farmer yesterday. That is a more industrial style song. Think more like Rob Zombie, Static X, and things like that. This next song is called Damaged. And it is a song I wrote about a friend that had killed himself.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
And no, it's okay. This one always gets to me, but I wanted to talk about this because we are doing a release for it next Friday. And when we did this song at the show, there's a solo part where there's like, it's about a minute long. And I remember I stumbled on the stage and I put my head down, and I remember just thinking like, God damn, the emotional ping pong. Because just a moment ago, I was rocking the fuck out, right, doing this song, and it's a great song. Like, it's a heavy fucking song. Don't get me wrong. It's a plea. It's a plea to save yourself from the thoughts. But then like flipping it from just being like, straight up rocking out to like, holy shit, man, I wish you were here.
Yeah.
Like I wish you were here. And this is like, and then from there, like, to take it back to a lighter note, like, we go into Carpet Farmer, like, crazily enough. And Carpet Farmer is literally a song. I didn't write it. One of our wonderful bassist, Nathan, he wrote it. And it's literally about searching the carpet fibers for your next fix.
It's such a switch. Such a switch.
Yeah. And then right after that, we have a song called Crooked Smile, which I wrote, and it's about dealing with dissociative identity disorder. So it's like there's all these spectrum, of emotion that you're going through. And it's like it sometimes gets hard to figure out exactly what emotion I should feel.
That's completely understandable. Like in comparison to your story about Damaged, I actually played a show with the last band I was in called Ironside, and we played. It was last August that we played, and this was right before my mom passed away. And this is a whole story. So, I got a call on said day about, she's in the hospital and this and that. So, and I knew for a fact that, I was going to go to practice on that Sunday, and a whole bunch of shit happened, and, it was what it was. Can you guys still hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. I heard static. I wasn't too sure what it was.
I heard that too. I wasn't certain where that came from.
Yeah, I just didn't know if my mixer was going to shut off or not, because it does that. But however, we had a show coming up, and it was going to be with Freya and Shit Dicks and some other. I think there was one other band on the bill, but I can't remember.
The fact that you even just had to say that name.
Yeah. But so going into the show, I wasn't I knew what was happening, and I'm like, I have to do this, just because of the fact that like she would tell me to go and do the show. And during the whole set, I was like, fine. And I'm like, just putting it all out there. And on the last song, before I did it, I poured my fucking heart out. And then at the very end of the set, I could not get the last bit of vocals out. And then I just dropped the microphone and started crying, ugly crying, right before the song was ending. And it was a very weird kind of feeling of just emotion that I normally don't show on a stage in that particular setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then fucking unfortunately, it was 4 or 5 days after that show, she ultimately passed away. So it was I knew what was happening. I knew what was going on. And I tried to at least forget about it for that 30 minutes. But you just can't, especially with, the song that you wrote. It's just, it ain't going to happen. That kind of shit's always going to bring up those certain emotions that you're normally not going to show.
Yeah. It's to elaborate on that. It's kind of been this constant struggle. Is for a long time, the band had no idea what the lyrics were written about. And I remember when I first told them, we were doing it in practice, and once again, right at the solo, the chorus, real quick, I'll just go. It says, bring me back from the edge, anticipated every word you said. There's a hole in my soul, and I can't find a way to drown out the madness in me. And once we got to that part, I remember once it got to the solo, I was just thinking about my friend and seeing his face. He's been gone since we were 15. I'm 34 now, and it's holy shit. He'd be there right along with me doing it, but it's every time I do that song in practice, it evokes that emotion. And it's I can't separate myself from it, but I've gotten better at being able to, I guess, would it be wrong to say compartmentalize?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to cheapen it or anything like that, but I went from being literally holding my hair over my face and just crying at practice, much like you said, just ugly crying every time that hit, to being able to be all right, this is for you, man. And I'll lean down and I'll touch the ground. I'm like, let's fucking rip it. And it's that emotional, I feed off of that in some kind of sick way, I guess, because it's like, it reminds me that, like, okay, this is all really fun, but there's also that human emotion that connects you to people as well, where it's like, when you're pouring your heart out, it translates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping when people can see that song live, like, we're a fun show. That's what we're aiming for, right? We're aiming to have everybody a good time, get your spirits up and everything. But I'm hoping during that one song, they can at least tell that, like, it's somebody pouring their heart out in that song. And I really hope it resonates, and I apologize for the ramble on that one, man. That song just, it does a lot to me.
It's going to get to, like, a certain point to where it's like, as soon as you get to that point in the song, that solo, the only word that's going to go through your head is just the word, just fuck. And then it's just, it's going to go on, and eventually it'll get easier the more you do it. And you're just going to brace yourself for it. And the impact isn't going to be as hard as it was the first time, or even just the time before that.
Yeah.
So, speaking, we're about to keep on to the emotional ping pong. Okay. And I apologize to you and everyone else that is about to deal with me. But, Jonathan from YouTube. Hi. No, honey, it is live. And if I ever see you comment something like that during someone actually spilling their guts about something being very near and dear to them, I will block you. Do you understand?
Oh no.
Okay, thank you. Now, to go on with everything.
I didn't see that.
Bill is waiting in the I believe it was a troll, but I don't play nice with people anymore. I got broken of that. That's why we're back now, because we're not so worried about anybody else. And I don't mind the questions. No, it's not a Christian label for Angel Media. It just happens to be, it's kind of a fun little thing. But if you thought it was a Christian label, and then you're going to say that stuff, then, like, maybe stop trolling me or go away or get blocked, because, like, you can be nice to people, but, like, rule number one, it is the one universal rule. Don't be a dick. Break that rule. I am one.
Yep.
Dude, what a cock.
That's so...
Go blow yourself, dude.
Holy shit.
We're not nice.
I just looked at that. It's like, dude, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We're listen, we're some of the nicest people ever, but, like, you break that one rule, it's very simple. It's the rule above all rules. Everything else in the world, don't be a dick, is the rule.
Hey, look, it's Facebook user.
Every other rule in the world tells you what to do if you or someone you love was a dick, or how to avoid being a dick. So, like, you know. Hi, Bill.
Hi.
It's Facebook user number one.
I had to be my no. Facebook user number one was Will from Liars.
You're number two.
He was number two. I had to pull the mom out. I had to pull the. It's not that I'm disappointed in you; it's that I'm pissed.
Someone's about to get grounded.
Hey, so I just want to do the most Pittsburgh thing ever.
Oh God!
And I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to hang up and wait for the answer.
Is this like a part of the show where we take callers in now or something?
Apparently, we do now.
Well, when the caller has the passwords,
caller has the access.
Bill, that's cheating, and you know it.
Friggin' yinzers.
I know, right? I'm from Pittsburgh, and I'm not even.
I don't have a Yinzer accent.
You don't. You have probably
I
the
don't.
best accent. You speak the most fluent out of anybody here at this point, I think.
Well, I do make a living speaking in a classroom, but anyway, here's my question, JT, and this is going to be an answer to a trivia question someday, because today is the 20th anniversary of my Pennsylvania Rock Show podcast, and this is one of the official questions. It's, what is the best pizza that you've had because you're a musician? And like I said, I'm going to hang up and listen.
See, Bill can do this because, like, he does have the passcodes.
So, okay,
like,
am
he
I
just
supposed
pops
to
in,
answer it like right now?
Yeah, I don't think
Yes.
I'm not sure if he went in depth with that question, because he's asked that question to
It
me.
is his regular question.
It's a regular question that he asks everybody. Basically, it's like, what is the best pizza you had with the places that you've been? So, like, normally afterwards you go and get like a slice of pizza down the street. Like, what was the best pizza you've gotten?
Ah, okay. Well, holy shit, I'd have had a loss because, like, I've done one fucking live show, right?
I mean, you can say just Pizza Hut, just don't say Papa John's, because we will kick you off of this fucking episode immediately.
Hold on now. Bill says, and now I've made you guys work. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
you did.
you guys are, from Virginia now, but you said you were in Tennessee, PA. So, like, at any point while you were actively a musician, and I see in here recordings count. So even if you've been out to record your stuff and then you treated yourself to some pizza.
Okay. So I can use that one because I actually do most of the Six Scar stuff. I actually record all the vocals with the microphone that you're at right now. So there is a wonderful little restaurant literally right down the road from me. It's called Pizza Land. Just recently, probably about 6-7 months ago, they have the best, and I mean the best, Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Oh, wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah, and they also, like, for being in Virginia and being nowhere near Pennsylvania, they have some of the best stromboli I've had in a long while.
Oh, I love it whenever a pizza place can also do really good. It sounds like a land I need to visit, he says.
Yeah. Like, you get a 10-inch stromboli, and they literally bring it out on a 20-inch platter and just scrape off the one side onto your plate.
Oh,
dude.
Oof. I feel like I'm gaining weight as I hear those statements.
You want to know the crazy thing, Justin? It's like $10, and that's it.
Where's this at again?
Road trip,
Virginia.
Road trip.
I'm about to make a drive to Virginia,
dude. I've been to Virginia. I have been to Virginia. Let's go.
If you want a reference where I'm at, I'm about 35 minutes away from Bristol Motor Speedway.
Oh man, that's too long. That's a far drive.
Yeah, for you it would be about 9.5 hours.
No. It'll probably be on a good day. It'll probably be like 7.5 to 8.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. So I actually went to Virginia. I actually went to Virginia Beach, and it took 9.5 hours to get there because of traffic. As soon as I hit like I-95, fucking forget about it. It just tacked on another 2 hours easy to the trip.
I
was about to like, you're not going to make me walk, but apparently Bill says I'm the furthest north at the moment. Justin, I'll pick you up first, then we'll make Jana walk to the end of her driveway.
That's ignorant as hell. He's like, I ain't going down there.
Wow.
Listen, I need you to know that up there is a road that doesn't quite exist.
Oh, you got one of those dead ends going on that Stephen King
no,
always writes
half
about?
of it fell.
Well, that's worse.
That's still a
Clive
thing.
Barker. That's not Stephen King. That's Clive Barker.
My friend Matt came to visit. I had a bass guitar and such to give him for storage and to use on recording. And I kept telling him, I'm like, look, please be careful. Please be careful. And he's like, Jana, I have been on back roads before. I have been on country roads. He showed up at my house and he's like, woman, now I get it. I'm like, didn't believe me.
I gotta ask you something though, JT. It is almost 9:30 at night. Are you drinking a fucking Monster, bro?
Every day, all day.
Oh my god. Oh, my kidneys hurt. Holy shit.
Well, my soul hurts. That's why I drink Monster.
Okay, well, see, this is what I plan on making my normal question.
You have a point, but goddamn, fuck. There's got to be a line, man.
Dude, one of these days we just need JT does free-for-alls on his podcast,
Yep.
Beyond the Breakdown, and like we just need to do free-for-all one of these times where we're not even on a subject, because the three of us, we would have
We'd
some
have a
fun.
blast.
Sounds like a marketing chance. Hey, Monster.
Dude,
I'm just saying.
I've drank Monster for 20 years, so they'll be the death of me. But I'm all for representing the beast.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to slice you open at the end of your life and be like, what?
So
it's literally going to look like I have my organs ingrained with lime, and it's just going to be like lye that just fills the crevices again.
hold on.
Mine will be coffee.
What is wrong with you guys? Like, why are you drinking so much caffeine at night? Like, damn.
I couldn't take a nap. My nap.
So you should be more. Oh fuck! All right, never mind. I get it.
In my defense, after I do this podcast, and I'm not in any rush to get off of here, I have to go edit some videos for my reaction channel. Then I have to get ready for the podcast tomorrow. So I'm just, it is what it is. we will
record this. We will record it so that.
So JT,
bro,
do you remember the? I don't mean to interrupt, but do you remember the BFCs?
Dude.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, fuck. So for some ungodly, stupid reason, a friend of mine and we decided to go halvesies on a case of BFCs, right?
Listen,
now I think
Justin, I don't know brand names.
So BFC stood for big fucking can for Monster. It was a 32-ounce can of Monster. They are no longer allowed to sell them because there is so much caffeine in them that it's
so good, dude.
You should only consume one for like 48 hours, right?
Man.
Oh.
Meh.
I had 2 in one day. That shit hurt so bad. I thought my insides melted. I was hearing smells.
I've been there, dude.
Dude, it was so bad. I was like in a fetal position for 3 days afterwards because my stomach was so torn up from drinking 2 of those pieces of shit. I almost swore I didn't drink Monster for maybe like 3 years after that. But then I smelled it afterwards and I'm like, God damn. And I just fucking went for it. I started drinking that shit again and it was game over.
Justin.
Hey.
Bill was
Listen.
on a roll.
Listen. That was completely different. Okay, look. He wasn't serving up fucking grilled chicken, okay? That man was serving up fermented fish in a can. In hot sauce.
Tuna or
No, it was like fermented German fish. It was like Surströmming or whatever the fuck that shit was. I didn't eat that. He did. But
Did you say something's throbbing? What?
it's just, I think it's pronounced Surströmming.
I
Not
didn't do it.
not throbbing, Surströmming. There's a big fucking difference, no pun intended.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
I need to get cordless headphones. I talk with my hands too much and I gesture too much.
Look, man, his podcast was something different, okay? Like, that shit was just, that was unruly. The kind of food that man was able to find and acquire from other people sending him shit, like, some of the people that sent him the stuff, they should be arrested. I almost called the cops on a couple of them.
I am so curious now. I want to know what this is.
So my buddy Chris, he was the one of the other vocalists in Skies of Terra. And you know, during COVID, we didn't do any shows, and eventually, like, we all just like kind of split off. There was a bunch of shit going on with that. But he ended up doing, like, he was stuck at home, so he figured he would start doing this. He called it Grubs with Chubs because Chris is a bigger guy. You know what I mean? So, and it would kind of be like he would try like different foods from different regions, different countries, and so on and so forth. But somehow, some way, it got to like the most disgusting shit he could find, or the most disgusting thing that somebody else would recommend, and they would send him something. So he actually got a decent bit of traction, and he actually became like Trafford famous for like a hot second. But I was on there a couple of times. I think I was on there twice or three times collectively. There was a couple of times where I legitimately almost threw up, just because it was like fermented fucking goat eggs or whatever. It was just the most off the wall left field shit. But we actually did like a Hot Ones episode with the band, and I am not the most keen person when it comes to hot sauce. You know, buffalo is like hot to me.
Oh no.
So there was one sauce. I want to say I think it was the Bomb. And I always smell it before it goes in my mouth.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah, you could take that statement whatever way you want, but I smell it before it goes in my mouth. Okay.
Well then.
So I took a whiff of this wing, and it smelled. I kid you not. It smelled like straight shit, like hot shit.
Oh.
And I took a bite. I fucking nearly passed away. That was almost like my curtain call. It was so bad. So terrible. And that's why I don't eat things on Chris's podcast, because I'm fucking smarter than that now. Okay?
Well, I'm just going to let you know that somewhere in one of these comments there's now a link to Grubs with Chubs.
Oh, no.
And Bill says, start with Justin's episodes. They're the best.
Bill, get off the internet, Bill. Get off. You're done. Why is he attacking me today?
Okay,
he's going hard.
Okay, but this one is me.
Why is he getting on my shit?
This one is for me.
Take
Because
him-
at least you had a legitimate reason to eat crazy stuff. I took Bill out for a birthday dinner once. We went to an authentic Asian restaurant. We got noodles that the sauce was red,
Oh no!
but it was dyed that color. It was just from the spice, the heat.
Oh no.
Well, I don't like wasting food. I brought him home. And the next day, Bill and I had a podcast. And we were on the podcast, and he mentions to our other co-stars on XRP that, we had these insanely hot noodles, and I'm like, ooh, I have still. So like I ate these hot ass noodles, but then that spiked the idea of the peanut challenge.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'd be down for that. Like I have ulcers for a reason. But
hold on. You have the reason you have ulcers is because of that kind of shit.
Well, I mean, I have 3 ulcers. So like I've kind of named them like stress and just spite.
Probably love eating hot Cheetos too, don't you psychopath?
I don't, and I'm not going to drink the Oreo Coke. All right, I have limits.
Yeah, shut that
I
shit.
have morals.
There's Oreo flavored Coca-Cola now.
You
heard me.
Swear to God.
Oreo flavored Coca-Cola.
I don't want to be here anymore. Not the podcast. Just Earth.
Just this Earth.
Shit, jump aboard, brother. I haven't wanted to be here for the past 22 years. Shit.
But Jessica Monroeville, I believe it was, actually got me the peanuts.
Oh, so she's an enabler.
Yes. She is amazing. And
an amazing enabler.
Yeah, she is. She's an amazing enabler. And so we were on the next podcast, and I was eating them. I was like, woo! Bag 1 is actually pretty hot. And then I just had them. I took them out and set them in front of me. And like I grabbed what I thought was bag 2.
Ooh,
the way it was printed, I accidentally grabbed bag 5.
Oh no.
And so like I popped it in, I'm like, oh my god, this is bag 2. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I'm like bag 2 was right there later on in the episode. I'm like, oh my god, you guys, I understand why I was crying.
Oh, that's rough.
Smooth move, Jana. Smooth move.
Listen, I'm smoothest. Okay, this is why I've given up trying to, and it lives on the internet. Bill says it does, and it lives on the internet. And yes, so that is me. That was my story with hot foods.
I have to stay away from most hot foods anymore because, like, years ago, I got diagnosed with acid reflux. So I have to be very careful because that can cause some severe heartburn for me, and it is not going to go away.
So I don't know why. I have 3 ulcers and acid reflux. I ate an egg salad sandwich today, and it gave me heartburn. I don't know why I eat hot stuff.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know.
Was it Einstein that had the quote about doing the same thing and then expecting different results?
That is the definition of crazy.
Insanity.
Yes.
Insanity.
Yeah, insanity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I will tell you, that has been my life. And AT, whenever I actually get to talk to you, like on, because Justin, I'm doing it. I'm out there. I'm going to get canceled. I don't care. I'm okay with this. Justin always laughs and says I'm going to get canceled if I go out there and just like spew my opinion all over the internet. He may be right, but like, God damn it, it's happened before. Several times. I'm all right. But yeah, so we will talk about like why with mental health people tend to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And I can say that I have actually found a place in life now where I understand why that happens. I may not understand everything. Not anymore. No, whoop. We're going to hide that. What's it? There. Okay, there. Bill saying I'm always cleaning up her messes.
The mediator.
Well, I mean, mental health is a huge thing for me. So, I mean, I'm all about like being able to understand yourself more when it comes to that, because mental health is so severely underrated still to this day, right? Like, if you're sick, if you have a cold, what do? You go to a doctor, right? You get medicine, you help yourself. But for whatever reason, there's still this huge stigma, not nearly as bad as it used to be. There's this stigma around if you say, well, I have a mental illness. Oh, that means you're fucking insane, right? No, it means things aren't working quite the way they need to, and it's causing imbalances. And I'm trying to figure out my journey in life, you fucking dick.
You know, I liken it to diabetes. I liken it to diabetes. You know, because people have this really stupid thing of they get on the pills and then they're like, look, I'm fixed. And they get off the pills. And it's like, listen to me.
Psych.
It is not a steroid. It is not an antibiotic. You have diabetes of the mind. For the rest of your life, you will either be taking pills, watching your diet, you know, your mental health diet, or doing a myriad of things to keep yourself living and living the way you should without losing a fucking foot.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause on my end. I actually do have to use the restroom. So give me a few seconds.
Okay,
here.
and this man has a bladder of like, I don't even know, an elephant. So like, we
I
have
thought you were
had
going to
4-hour
insult my bladder.
conversations. No, you.
I was
you have
like, wait a
this
minute.
Tank of a bladder.
Don't go that far.
He's going to be gone for like 10 minutes.
But I mean, on the mental health aspect, though, you know, people they get up there, they do that, and it's like, dude, no. And this is someone I have had. So my full diagnosis is like a sheet long. I'm not gonna lie. And for anybody watching this too, you know, oh my God, what are they about? I'm about a lot of things. But yeah, one of the things that is still on my list, but is no longer active, is bipolar disorder.
Oh, okay. That's a big one for me.
Suffered with that for years and years and years. Mine went away not because of meds, but because I was on so many. This is the current theory. I was on so many. I was completely over medicated. I was a zombie. It was after I lost my husband. And I started to realize if I missed a dose, like, I wasn't okay. And I'm not all right with that. I'm not okay with being that addicted to any medication. And so I got her, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, I can help you get off that in like 2 or 3 years. I was like, nope. Locked myself in a room for a week. And my therapist believes like either my brain had a choice, either like, you know, live or die. And so things kind of like fixed itself in a way. But what I'm left with is the medication resistant bipolar depression. And I'm going to tell you, that's a bitch. And being a suicide survivor from years back, I am always one to talk about the mental health, the reasons to stay. And if for no other reason, take it from someone who was there, it's the regret.
Yeah.
It's the regret when it's too fucking late.
Yeah.
I will, and I wanted to die. I wanted to die. There's a whole story behind it, but when I woke up, I did die. I mean, I got my wish. They just happened to bring me back. But when I woke up and everything was black and I heard the machines, it came back to me what I had done. And it was like, oh my God, no, I don't want that. I do not want that. I want to live. And that fear of knowing that you've ended it all, if for no other reason than that, or despite those who caused you to want to actually get to that point. Living for spite is totally a thing.
There was actually a video that I seen where like people like, oh no, I think you live longer if you have hate in your heart. And I was like, you know what, you're right.
I mean, hey, to be honest with you, up until a few years ago, I was living to literally spite myself.
There you
It
go.
was the only, it was the only thing I could do. Because I mean, much like you, Jana, I not quite to the severity, but I've had my occurrences as well, and I still deal with the ideation. And I agree with you on the mental health aspect of it. It needs to be looked at in a different light, and it needs to be seen, and people need to be heard when they're feeling these things. And I approach it, I think, from a little bit of a different mindset, where I am always trying to play devil's advocate, and it's, look, I understand why you want to leave. I do, because this world, it sucks, but it would suck a little less with you in it. Like, that's the thing. Like, this world really sucks, and it will beat you down. It will destroy your will to live. But what you got to do, you got to shine your fucking boots up, right? You got to pull yourself up, because nobody else is going to. It doesn't matter. You can have a million friends. You could have the family that you always dreamt of. But if you feel like you're on an island, you're on an island. And if you don't have that willpower to pull yourself up, I understand. But then let somebody else try and help. It doesn't matter if they're a friend. Just reach out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that we have all probably in our lives had, the best way I can put it is, had our worlds burnt down around us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had a few things in the last few years that, oh my, just really. But again, it comes down to, do you live or do you die? And I have a whole stained glass theory that won't let me die. And in the last few years, I've had a little piece of sunshine tucked away inside of me, that no matter how bad the day has been, just this little flame, little ember that, I needed to protect that, and I needed to develop that. And, I lived for spite for years, and I had hope for years. And then that little spark became an agent of my change. And now I feel like I'm in a better place, and I think that we can all get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And as like a little bit of a button for my end of that conversation, it's crazy, because one of the last times that I really thought about just, I literally planned on taking myself out to the woods, basically. And I wrote my song, My Finale. And that's what that song is actually about. I had actually had it planned to be scheduled to post-mortem. And that day I got the invitation to audition for KBO.
Oh, man.
And that's why I said earlier, I was like, well, I got nothing else to go for. Let's say fuck it and try. And here we are almost 2 years later. And it's like, I couldn't imagine it. My life has taken such a drastic change. And it's not always great, I'm not going to lie, but it's so much better than what it was.
I don't know about you guys. I kind of feel like, we all seem to be like movie lovers.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of feel like there is something in the Matrix that makes too much sense, where he says, we tried to build a perfect world for you and you all died.
Yep.
And there's been all kinds of scientific and psychological studies that have shown that if things get too easy, we're out of here. We're gone. We die off.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, I try to see it as, these are all tests. And one of the things that has truly gotten me through the last few years is when I have been tested on things that test my convictions and the rules that I set myself up for in the world. Love. To me, the true definition of love, one of them. But like the most important is that if you love someone, you want the best for them, whether or not it involves you being there whenever it happens. And I have let friends go with love. I have let a lot of people go with love, and you can still hold on to that. But like, you let it go. I've had my convictions tested on simply how I live my life, how I view others. And, whenever you're really up against it, like your morals are on the line and you're like, though I said that I live my life like this, and that right there, that is tempting. That's a great business offer. That could really put me on the fucking map. But it goes against this moral code that I've always lived by. And having to sit down and be like, no, thanks. It's harsh, but whenever you actually have to live it out, like, you find yourself feeling stronger.
Yeah, I completely agree. You feel that sense of empowerment when you're able to overcome an obstacle like that, because you're faced with the easy way. You're faced with that. You're like, oh man, I could do this, and it's so much easier than going through this mountain that I'm having to climb.
And no one would even know. No one would even know that you don't,
But you would.
They wouldn't understand that little loophole.
Yeah.
But you would.
Yeah. Yep.
Justin's down here like, he's like, nope, I'm not outing myself. I'm not joining their conversation. We're not talking about my darkness. We're not talking about my desire. We joke about Justin because at the end of the little video where he goes, woo, Justin's the type of person that I feel would never look to die. But if it's going to happen,
it's going to happen.
That's fair. Hey, that's fair.
He's not going to step out from in front of the railway car.
But if I trip,
it's
a very very weird feeling most of the time. I don't know, man. It's just strange. Like, I know for a fact that, like, legitimately, I don't want to die. There's so many things that I still want to do, and I feel like I have to do to validate my own legacy and my own life on this fucking planet. But, if I know for a fact, like, shit, it's my time. There it is. There I go.
I want to go down doing something heroic. That's all I ask. I probably won't.
Oh, if it's anything heroic for me, it will just be in Dungeons and Dragons, because that's irony. I'm gonna roll a nat 20 and have like a fucking heart attack from drinking my 20th monster that night. Just
oh my god.
It'll be one of those moments where you're like the only one left of your party. Everyone else has died. You're getting up to go do something, in celebration, like, yeah, did you see that? Did you see that? And, like, you trip over something and like hack your head off.
You're going off for some, like, that's like some Final Destination type shit.
Yeah.
Like his name's not fucking Kenny. He's not South Park. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn.
Listen, okay, people think. Hold on. Bill has a point. That is not how you convince Monster Energy to sponsor you.
Okay. How about this? What if I donate my body to Coca-Cola, because that's who owns Monster, and they can literally just like fill their cans of Monster with my flesh and sell it. There you go.
Oh. And every day of the dead, they can bring you back around.
It could be like the Necronomicon.
I don't want to drink Monster anymore from this conversation. Like there was
Still got my
already
sweet coffee.
there was already speculation of like bull semen being in Red Bull, but then again, I still drink Red Bull, so never mind.
I was gonna say, dude, I deep throat that too. So
That fucking that point just got fucking voided real quick.
legit, the only thing I can't drink as far as that goes, like I'm allergic to anything sugar free. But rock.
How are you allergic to shit that's sugar free? Like what the fuck?
Phenyletronics, dude, like they give me severe migraines and they like lay me up for days.
Wait, what is it?
Phenyletronics, it's like NutraSweet.
Oh, okay. Like fake,
Splenda. Yeah.
Oh,
like that
okay.
shit.
Like artificial sweetener kind of.
Yeah. I should have specified.
Okay.
So
I was like,
Bill's
you're
saying,
allergic to electronics? Like what?
Bill's
hope
saying
not.
that they're going to bring him in with the human flesh person in my hometown.
There you go.
See, when people are like, oh, she's dark, it's like, look, man, okay, I was made this way. Thank you. We have a pottery museum that has a death mask and a purse made of human flesh that my town found.
Dude, that's awesome.
Tested, found out it was actually human flesh, and then was like, I don't know, man. Like, I guess just,
But how can you
put
be
it
so
in a museum.
dark? How can you be so dark whenever your hometown also has the world's biggest teapot?
That will make you dark. That's not my hometown. That's where I moved.
Whatever.
Did you just say world
Take this shit on purpose. I am trying so hard to take Bill's comment off of here, but whoever is spanning us with I am a regular viewer of the show, like, dude, I love you. I do. But stop. I can't even take comments down.
Oh my gosh.
Do you guys see this?
Is it on your Facebook or what?
And now look, do you guys see the chat? Do you see the live chat?
I don't see the live chat.
It might be a host thing. I don't know where it's coming from. I can't make it go away.
Is it on your Facebook or is it on the First Angel Media Facebook?
I looked on my Facebook. I looked on FAM's Facebook. We have probably gotten, we probably have around 200 of these I am a regular viewer of this show. And I'm just trying to, because every time I get up to comment, it refreshes to I am a regular viewer of the show.
What the hell?
Yeah, there's comments I know that we are missing because all I see is I am a regular viewer of this show. You guys, it's insane. And I don't know how to, so like, we're just going to have this comment about JT's corpse coming to my hometown filled with monster to join the flesh purse on here forever now.
Let's do it.
So I don't see, at least on First Angel Media, I only see 55 comments, and most of them are from Bill,
which is awesome. It is. Bill, I might need you to take a host seat just so you can come in here and like get us off of that. I'm going to actually, I'll send it to you guys. I'm going to record this just so you see what I'm doing here. Like, okay. Yep. And now I'm trying to scroll up to meet Bill's comment. Oh, nope. I feel like you guys remember that commercial with the guy who's like in angler gear, and he's like, "Nope, gotta be faster than that."
Yeah. I was just
okay,
thinking
this is what's happening right now. Like, I'm not as fast as the bot.
Almost had it.
Almost had it. Almost.
Well, right now I'm on First Angel Media Facebook, and Bill said he's trying to log in as you on one stream.
Okay, and it's not letting him.
I don't know. It might.
Maybe. I'm sure he'll figure it out because like I can. I'm just
Yeah, I don't-
stuck here forever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just like a bot.
I
It's-
can't find it anywhere though, so I kind of think that it might be like one stream just like grabbed somebody's comment and was just like, you know what? That's a really good comment. That is such a good comment. We are going to share that comment for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, that's AIM.
Someone is a regular viewer of this show.
Yeah,
apparently.
they really wanted that to be known.
But
Hopefully-
as we are,
Hopefully, it's
as-
not a fucking stalker of mine. Jesus Christ.
or mine,
Well, yeah, or yours. I don't know what would be worse. JT, do you have any stalkers?
Not that I know of. I think
Okay,
I,
That's the
Don't
fucked
make-
up part.
they'll make themselves. You will know.
I know if you see like if you have like bushes in front of your house, just cut them down so you know who's standing in front of your house.
So
Yeah.
wait, when we say bushes, we did just pass 9/11, so
God damn it!
You know, at some point tonight, we started talking about the emotional ping pong.
you're welcome.
Killbateoverdose. And that seems to
Bush.
just be the theme of the night.
Yeah,
Guys, I can't even
apologize.
believe this. Like, we've done this for 2 hours.
Yeah,
And people have hung out with us this entire time, and I want to thank all of you. Like, I can't see you, I just see viewers and all of that stuff, but like, thank you for listening to our craziness.
yeah, real ones right there. Speaking of 9/11, this isn't
Oh
real.
no.
This isn't fucked up. It's not fucked up. Where was everybody at?
Oh man,
Where were you when they built the ladder to heaven? That's South Park. But where the fuck was everybody at? Like, how did everybody respond to that kind of shit? Because it was fucking wild as a sixth grader. I'll tell you that right now.
yeah. I was I was homeschooled at the point, and to preface this, I have no problem with any religion, so please don't mistake it for anything like that. But I grew up in a highly religious home, and as a 11-year-old, being told to watch bodies jump off of the freaking building, and being told the rapture was probably going to happen.
Yeah, fucking traumatizing.
Dude, like, I've gotten past it, and people laugh, and I'll laugh at it now, but like, I legit had to have therapy because as a kid, I was seeing Osama bin Laden in our trailer when I turned around, and I was petrified of any airplane because all I did was sit there and watch it for 12 hours a day, the day it happened, and every subsequent day.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
fucked
God.
with me, man.
That's so bad.
Like, now looking back, I'm like, I realize why I'm so desensitized to things, but at the time I was like, holy shit, this was horrible. And it still is horrible. But it's like,
Oh, yeah.
God, dude. Like, hearing some of the stories that other people have, mine just pales in comparison.
Oh yeah. It's just like it was wild for me. Like, I don't know. It's like I remember it was like the second week of school because we started super late. I forget why that was, but we started super fucking late. And I remember my teacher just like talking about it. He was like, yeah, like planes like drove into the World Trade Center. And like, dog, I'm a 11-year-old from Pittsburgh. Like, I have no idea what the World Trade Center is. So I'm just like, Cole, like, what does this have to do with math? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I hear my name over the intercom, and then I hear like my brother's name as well. Wait, hold on, no, he was in junior high at this point. So I hear my name, I go to the office, and I was like, what did I do? And my parents are there, and I was like, oh no, I know for a fact I didn't do anything. They're like, come on, we're taking you home. And then my dad is like losing his shit in the van, and it's it's kind of funny because we didn't have like an actual minivan. It was like a delivery van. It was like a candy van.
Mhm.
So there's no seats in the back of this bitch. I just like open it up and jump in the back and just close it up. And like he was like, the whole fucking sky is like shut down. Like there's not a plane in the sky. And I was like, are the clouds falling? Like what the fuck is going on? And the first thing I see whenever I get into the apartment building and I see the TVs on, I just see bodies falling from the fucking towers. I was like, what is going on? This is insane to me.
Dude, like, I know this is such a weird topic to talk about, but it's like, I remember because my mom worked for a insurance company at the time called Cigna, and she did it at home. And I remember her telling me, we got to watch the news. The second plane's been hijacked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was before they had officially fucking announced that it was hijacked. And we turned it on, and right then is when the plane was going into the tower. And I remember, like, just watching it, dude. And then I watched everything with the Pentagon. And then if you remember, man, like, you're around my age. So, like, shortly after that, we had the anthrax scare, right?
Yeah, that
And
was
then,
like the same month, I think. Like, not like October or something after.
And then shortly after that, like, to show you how messed up our generation really was, like, then we had the DC sniper that we went through.
Yeah. And then
And
we had
like,
smallpox and shit. And I was like, oh my God, dude, fuck.
yeah, dude, it like, it's crazy what a defining moment that event really was to so many people's lives.
Yeah. And like, even going today, like, shit, fuck. Oh, I'm dying. Even like 2024.
The irony.
So it's like, it's weird because now it's like, so there's obviously a chain of events that happen after something like that, right? So you get like obvious threats of everything else. And now in 2024, for some reason, the big thing now has been school shootings.
Yeah.
Now, It is absolutely fucking terrible that you have to feel a certain way sending your fucking kid to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, with the last one that just happened, I think it was in Atlanta. At least that's the last one that I heard of. The father has just been charged with everything that the kid was charged with, but I think just in a lesser felony charge.
Yeah, a lesser felony, not straight.
Yeah,
like
so like, the kid is charged with murder. The dad is charged with, I think, either like accessory or like or manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter. But since then, there's been so many threats that have been happening, and it's like wildfire. So even a guy that I work with, he even told me, he said there has been like my daughter said that she was afraid to stay in school because there was a threat that just happened there, or like a threat was happening at one school and it was sent to another one.
Yeah,
I was like, why does this shit happen like right after a legitimate school shooting, and now there's all these threats happening? So is that something that like I just don't understand, like, the fucking the mindset behind that. Is it like the kids are just, they're so predisposed to this kind of shit, or what?
I mean, I guess this could be a whole, topic in itself, so I'll try to condense it.
Of course.
Like, there's a real thing of desensitization through social media. I mean, you're exposed to every single element in the world on your feed.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, Instagram, you name it, you're plugged into it and you're going to see it. And like, I really do think that it takes its effect after so long, and you're just like, oh, well, that's just another thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, it's not happening to me. Maybe, like, it's not really that bad. And then you kind of start to just like give credence to the thoughts. And then it's like, before you know it, you have people that are like, well, what if I did it? And I mean, other people have done it. And it seems like, a lot of times I wonder, what people go through that makes them get to that point. Because obviously I can relate to the depression aspect, but never to the point of like being homicidal.
No, like at least not whenever I was in school. Like I was just to a point to where I wanted to fucking beat someone's ass, but never shoot somebody. Like that was never even a thought that crossed my mind. And it's like like you and I, we're the same age. Like we grew up playing like Grand Theft Auto and all that other random shit. But it's like we didn't know what an AK-47 was. We just knew it was something in the game at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, like we had no idea. And I mean, like you said, we're the same age. So I mean, even going back to Columbine, you know, it's like that was a whole uproar. And then that kind of started me knowing about the school shootings and then everything. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't think there's as much restrict anymore on the generations that are coming up. So you're literally being born into a world where you are already made aware of the chaos that has happened and that will happen, and you're predisposed to it. And it's like you either have a couple options. Like you can either be, well, this really sucks, but we live in it. Or I think another option is, this seems kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it makes, it's I'm never going to be that one that's like, oh, blame video games or anything like that. I'm never going to blame that because like you said, me and you were Grand Theft Auto heads, right? Like, I mean, I sat there and played Vice City until the sun came up and my mom had to pry me away from it to eat. Like, it's just how it was.
Yeah, that game was top tier.
Dude, yeah. And it's like, I never once had a thought of going somewhere and inflicting that harm on somebody else. Like, to me, there's something that is definitely off with somebody at that point. And that, like, I often wonder what the warning signs were for that person more than anything.
Well, going back to like the dad, apparently the father, he like trained him, not like trained him, but he like taught him how to use like the gun. You know what I mean? Or it was like a hunting rifle or something along those lines.
And the kid was very mentally ill. That's why the dad's getting charged.
That part I didn't know.
He was very mentally ill and had actually been investigated for threatening to shoot up the school the prior school year. And approximately 5 months after that, the dad bought him.
The dad's like justifiably getting charged. Like,
and this is why, that's why they are going after him so hardcore, is because like everybody in that family knew this kid had been abused, he had been hurt, and so whenever he started talking about, last year, I'm going to kill everybody, I'm going to bring in a gun and kill you all. And then the dad bought him a gun. Everybody was just like, this is waiting to happen. And the mom actually called into the school that day and told them to take his book bag off of him because he brought his gun. And the school screwed it up.
How do you fuck up taking a book bag from a kid?
Apparently, they went into a classroom and he and another kid had very similar names. None of the kids were in there, and they took the book bag of the wrong child.
I'm sorry, wasn't the kid's name Colt Gray?
Something like that.
Like Colton. I don't understand what name rhymes with Colt or Colton.
That's, yeah.
I don't know.
I know Gray can be a somewhat similar last name, but I mean, unless there's two Colton Grays in that fucking school, like, I don't know how the school could have fucked that one up.
It does worry me though, because like my partner, she has kids, and I've recently become a big part of that life, and it's like it worries me when they go back to school because the things they're going through at like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, it's mind-boggling to me. Like, when I was a kid, I was never thinking about, like, well, maybe today could be a school shooting. I was just like, when the hell do we get to recess, right? Like, that was just the thing.
Yeah.
And now it's like you're sending kids off and you don't know if it's going to be a war zone or an education.
Yeah, it's like I remember we had bomb threats and shit. We
Yeah.
had at least 2 bomb threats whenever I was in junior high, and this is a little bit off subject, but I think that my junior high was kind of fucking goofy when it came to that, because all we did was we just went to the baseball field that was right next to the school. So I'm like thinking, like, as a kid, I'm like, okay, so like I compared it to, a video game. So I'm like, if a bomb goes off in this fucking school, we're still in danger. Like, we're just right next to the gymnasium. It's not like,
All right.
It's not like we're a mile away from the school. It's not like we packed up and got on a bus and went, you know what I mean?
I've got to break in here because, sir, we did our tornado drills by covering our heads in the hallway. And I live in an area that has a nuclear power plant near enough by that we would do nuke drills where we got under our desk.
Yeah, under the desk. Like, what the fuck is that going to do?
They'll find us easier, I guess. Well, this person was assigned to this seat. But,
yeah, like, we're fucking obliterated. And you're like, okay, yeah, the dust under this desk matches the description of this child. Like, shut up. Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
How old were you guys when Columbine happened?
I was 9. I think it was
9.
like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Okay. I was in high school. And kids like me got harassed by the superintendent and everything like that because we wore all black. We wore the long leather coats.
No,
we wore combat boots.
That was the style back then. That was the style.
We were the loner group. And so all of a sudden, whenever this happened, I remember not so much fear as like, holy crap, what? But what we were really surprised by, like, it was my first true understanding of how absolutely uneducated adults are on what's happening with children.
Mm-hmm.
Because they came after us because of how we looked, because we dyed our hair black, because we, name whatever you want. But like, we weren't the ones that were the ones that they should be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all were stereotyped.
We really were. And let's be honest, that's, we're talking about like a time whenever the darker, I don't want to call it emo because it's not really, but the long leather jacket look.
Well, I mean, you had the Manson
was the
look.
badass. Yeah, it was the badass. And we weren't, they're looking at like how we look, and it's like, dude, it's the kids over there getting bullied.
Mm-hmm.
It's that really quiet person in the back of the library that knows the librarian by name because they won't go out on the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I was an adult, like whenever 9/11 happened. And oh God, I really aged myself on this because I say my age and it's one thing. I remember being at work, and when the first plane happened, we thought it was a fluke. When the second plane happened, we knew it was something else.
Oh yeah.
Like they were coming around, like our leads were coming around, like, oh my God, did you hear a plane hit the tower? And we're like, oh my God, how did that happen? They were flying too low. And then the second one hit and we were like, nope. And I remember they were like, there's a third one up there. And I was like, And I clocked out. I was like, I'll see ya. I left. I went and picked up my son who was in first grade.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, no one was safe anywhere.
Yeah.
In my mind.
I mean, you're pretty much right in that regard. Like it was strange because like there were obvious targets, but then you have to think of, if someone were to fight back or whatever, like they did for, what was it? Shanksville, right? Somerset County.
Yeah.
Like it just landed in a fucking field.
That one hurt me more.
Yeah. Like that could have been at fucking someone's house.
Yeah.
That one hurt my heart more than, and this may be really terrible. That one hurt my heart more than the other two.
So close
because, well, the other two, it is my understanding that they had like this short-lived panic.
Yeah.
They had like a short-lived, like, oh my God, and then they're gone. And I hate to say it, but like that was a fast way to go. That one though, they were like, well, we're going to kill ourselves. We don't have death wishes, but we're going to die, and we're all going to die. Yeah. And it's to, they were heroes. It was to make certain that less people died. I'll sacrifice my life so that my life doesn't take 10 others. And, for them they had the time and the wherewithal to call their loved ones, to leave the messages, to tell them how much they love them. They knew this was it. And they each took a turn, and they didn't take forever. No one had to drag them off the phones. It was like, hey, I have just long enough to tell you I love you and I'm going to die. Someone else needs the phone now to do the same. Bye.
Yeah,
that's basically what hurts.
I mean, back then in those days, like voicemails could only be like 30 seconds.
Right.
And that was it, and it would cut off anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just wild to even think or even fathom being in that sort of a situation. And it's like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, no. And it's like, it's strange because like going back and thinking of it, like, this is fucking weird. Like, I couldn't even fucking like imagine being on that fucking plane.
No.
And it's like, actually, I know someone, a friend of mine, her dad was actually, like, she lives in New York, and her dad was actually, like, one of the firefighters, like, on scene and shit. Like, he was in the fucking building saving people, and he lived, like, he made it out. And we always, like, say is like, goated. Like,
yeah.
And it's crazy, like, homeboy actually fucking escaped the Sons of Sam. It's like, how the fuck do you do? How do you do this? How do you do this kind of shit?
Damn, dude.
His friend wasn't so lucky with the Son of Sam, but he was. He got away from that shit.
Give me just a second to let my cat out. She is scratching at the door so
Go
bad.
right ahead.
I am so sorry, guys.
I thought I heard a cat. I thought I heard a cat.
My cats are just, they're a lot.
I'm surprised mine hasn't come up.
I've heard your dogs for like the past like fucking half an hour.
I know, right? Okay, but here's the freaky thing. The dogs went crazy. I saw headlights, and like I sent my kids a message, and I was like, be quiet when you come in. I still have a podcast running. And my oldest, everyone was like, oh, okay. And my oldest is like, Mom, we've still got like 15 minutes before the second movie.
Oh,
so if I get killed tonight, I love y'all.
Maybe that was the person that said I'm a huge fan of the podcast or whatever.
So I'm just saying, I didn't have the heart because they're only like 2 miles away, and I know my oldest. Like, if I were to be like, so you guys weren't the headlights in the driveway? they would be here. So I'm like, nope, if I die, I die.
Well, we don't want that.
We don't want that, but if this is my last thing, love y'all.
I hope I
Start
haven't
of the
kept
show
you
with
guys
Seed.
too
Hey,
long.
big fan. How you doing?
Right?
Yeah, just, Bill, thank you for being my friend for all these years.
It was
But-
a pleasure meeting you.
Yes, and JT, it was wonderful meeting you.
Jana,
But
yeah, you got on my nerves enough. You can go.
It was the videos the other night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I took an edible and then ended up outside in the dark, and
Yeah.
I found it. I found what happened to me extremely hilarious, because I don't do that kind of stuff very often, if ever. And I had to explain to Justin what happened.
Shame.
Somewhere in the middle of the first message, I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm sending my friend a message and he's never seen me stoned.
You're just
And
like
his
cracking up half the
reaction
time.
had me laughing so hard. I had to end the video, and then I came back to say something, and then I thought of it again. And then in the third video, I calmed myself down. And then I accidentally saw like the preview of me laughing like a maniac in the last video, which set me off again. And really it all came down to, I'm stoned in the woods and I hear something moving. I may be white, but I'm not that white.
You know better.
That's really what he got. 5 videos of me laughing like an insane person just to tell him that. And like, I'm totally telling on myself. If it helps any, Zach got a message because while I was sitting there, I was talking and I saw my fingers like it was stop motion. So he got a message too.
And I really just like sat there on my car, just like playing the videos. I'm like, man, it's like fucking 6:30 in the fucking morning. And I'm hearing this fucking woman talk about how high she is. I'm just like, it's too early for this shit. I did listen to him and I was like, this is kind of funny. And I was like, didn't she ever think that like maybe that noise that you heard was the fucking dog running back to you?
It was because we were outside looking for the dog, and it was.
But you just
but
like
for a
laughing.
moment there in my head, it wasn't. And,
That was
and
the
the
edible
really
talking.
funny thing is, I am almost a teetotaler. I don't hardly ever drink. I don't hardly ever do anything. Like, and so I normally like I take the littlest amount to just make me go, huh. And I took all the rest of the chocolate.
Speaking of drinking, I gotta pee again.
Okay, hold on. No, stop. Before you do that, we're at almost 2.5 hours.
I know, we gotta close this out.
We gotta
Yeah.
close this up.
I'm
We
so
brought
sorry,
JT
guys.
on here to talk about his music, and all of a sudden, Bill
We
had us
fucking
jumping
went-
the shark, and we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
everywhere. People, this is what happens when 3 ADHD people get together. Okay? And I even told JT earlier, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll bring it back.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
did.
I did.
For a
A
minute.
few times. Oh my God, there's a cat behind you.
Yep, that would be my Chungus boy, Roar. He
Dude,
is
what a-
named after Rorschach.
What a fucking unit that cat is. Holy shit.
I have a chunky. Her name is Lizzie. And I have a big boy. And he is my, oh my God. He looks like my spaz. He looks like my derpers.
We can't get off topic again though. I'll
Oh,
get
God.
way off.
Okay, we're closing. We're closing.
right. We're
This is
closing
what
it out.
no, because I knew that your need to pee would keep us on track.
Yep, we got to. All right, I got to pee. We're going to close this out. JT, go ahead and plug your shit, plug your next show, plug your next release, plug your socials.
Hell yeah. So thank you so much. First of all, this has been an absolute blast. I've not done an interview for myself in a long while. So this was really cool. You can find me at Beyond the Breakdown with 6 Scars on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't have TikTok. Meh. You can also find me on 6 Scars. That's my solo project. It's kind of been dead for a while. Still working on resurrecting it. And then please find us at Killbateoverdose. I'm pretty sure you can see it scrolling across.
That is
TikTok.
one word.
Yes.
One word.
It is a mouthful. I didn't choose the name. But you can find us on Instagram at Killbateoverdose. You can find us on YouTube at Killbateoverdose and on Facebook. And get yourself a KBO shirt. Hook us up. Let us get you a shirt and all the other things. I wish I could say we had a show coming up, but hopefully when we do, I can let you guys know.
Okay, any of my peeps in the Tennessee area, anyone like, you're not that far from Virginia. It's a little bit of a drive, but like, you know, people, look them up. Let's work together. Let's work.
Bristol, Tennessee / Bristol, Virginia. There you go. So we're right on the border.
So we just, you know, let's get these guys going. Let's get some shows going. Seriously, this has been awesome. And guys, it finally happened. I am a regular viewer of this show. Stopped at 10:12 p.m.
Dude, who the fuck is that? Like, goddamn.
I don't know.
Maybe they.
I'm scrolling, and they were still going at 10:11. So,
Oh, geez.
somebody loves us. They might be in my driveway.
Yeah, really.
Some crazies.
Do you have windows? Don't look out them.
I do, but I'm not.
All right. Y'all can close this shit out. I gotta pee.
All
See you, brother.
right. See
It was
ya.
good talking to you.
It was great.
You do, man.
Fuck.
Okay, so normally we keep this at an hour. That is how much fun we've had.
Same.
We've
Thank
gone
you so
that
much.
far beyond. Seriously, gonna have you back on here for just all of us. Will, Zach, get together, talk about the things, you know, that make us us, and why we do all of this insanity, why we carve out chunks of time to get on here, laugh, cry, and talk, you know. And I would love to have you on, because I am trying to just kind of like get out there and do my own thing. It was one of the things with coming back. I have, you know, decided to do this my way and not the way that everybody wants me to do it.
Yeah.
If I get canceled, I get canceled. That's okay. But I don't think I'll get canceled. It's more about like mental health and middle of the road thinking with rational thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with having the wrap up, and I know time frame, obviously, but you are more than welcome. You are more than welcome.
Shut up, cat. You're right. You're fine.
You both are more than welcome to
What
be
the fuck is this?
guests on the podcast.
Oh, I'd love that. He's inviting us on the podcast. You be nice.
I'm like, you're still fucking here?
All right, Deadpool.
I was waiting for this shit to be fucking done.
No. Seriously, guys. Thank you so much. You made 2 hours fly by. This was a blast.
You did too.
This was an absolute blast.
It was a good one.
It was. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. God bless you if you're one of the only people who has stayed to the end.
Marathon.
It really was. But it was great. And I don't care, like, if you're just tuning in now, go back, watch it, take a coffee break, take a pee break, come back, watch more. But have a good night, everyone, and I am going to end the stream in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. That was
See
fun.
you guys.
Christ.
Thank
That
you.
was fun, though. That was
I am
so
so
fun.
sorry.
How the
I
fuck
hope,
did we go for 2.5 hours?
Stream of consciousness talking and